Hi, welcome back to, I don't know if we can call it tea time tonight.
I think it's still tea time.
Still tea time.
Just,
but we're having milkshakes.
Milkshakes! Anyway.
With Allie and Angelique.
Yes.
So, tonight, we are going to be talking about love.
Ew.
Yeah.
That was a joke. Ew.
We kind of, well, lately I've been like, oh, I just thought of a topic the day of. Also, we know and realize that we missed a Marian feast day.
We are aware.
And we were gonna go back and do it, but I think the hard thing with this Marian feast day is that there are so many things that people like, there's like controversies behind it, and I just don't think I know enough about Our Lady of Fatima to do an episode on it just yet.
Yeah. I think maybe what we'll do is next year we'll do like a couple of parts.
Yeah.
Right before.
Maybe like
so that we can hit all of the
each part of the vision. And like there's like, because there's parts of the vision that people believe like haven't been told. So it's just a big topic, and like I just don't know if we're ready to broach that one yet.
Next year.
But yeah, so we're gonna talk about love today instead.
Love.
And I feel like a lot of people misconstrued what it means to love somebody.
Absolutely.
Especially in our culture today, that's you do you, and you know, follow your passions.
Your truth.
Live your truth. And they think it means loving somebody in their choices. When we're called to we're called to love people the way Jesus did. Jesus loved everybody, but he didn't love their choices when they made the wrong ones.
But he willingly and was ready to forgive them.
Yeah, and we've defined love before, but it's, if you'd like to take this one.
Willing the good of another.
So it's like, let's say Angelique knew I was living in a state of mortal sin, right? I'm not right now. I went to confession yesterday.
That you know of. That was a joke, obviously.
Fair enough. I went to confession yesterday. I hope I'm not yet in a state of mortal sin. But anyway. But
fair enough.
Yeah. Angelique knew, and she just didn't say anything because she didn't want to hurt my feelings. That's not loving somebody.
That's not doing anything for her good.
Exactly. And so it's like, when you love somebody, you're not sitting there going, oh, I support you even though I know what you're doing is wrong.
Like the accent you chose there.
Oh, thank you. It's telling them, hey, I don't support this decision, I don't support this choice, but I do love you anyway. And I think that's an important distinction to make when we're talking about love itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, not everybody wants to hear that. And it doesn't make everybody warm and tingly to know that. But it's more important to like to point out and make sure that others are aware that what they're doing is not right. Because the longer you live in a state of mortal sin, the worse you feel about yourself, and the worse it is for your soul. So, chopra.
Which is what, and the thing is a lot of people now consider if you don't support them in their choices, that you hate them automatically. And I think that that's one thing that our society really does wrong, is that the minute somebody disagrees with you or the path that you've taken in your life, you are no longer allowed to be in theirs.
Yeah.
And that's something I have a really hard time with, because it's not that you aren't loved, it's just that you're loved in a way that's going to try and help guide you to the path to heaven.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I mean, we've said it before, like, all relationships are supposed to lead to heaven. Friendships are supposed to have their goal towards heaven.
We're dragging each other to heaven.
Yes.
Whether we're kicking and screaming or not.
Yeah. I also would like to point out that the English language does a very big disservice to us by giving us only one word for love.
Yeah, because, like, love means a lot of other things, like, a lot of different things. Like, I love this milkshake. I love Allie. I love Jesus. Well, there are different kinds of loves.
Yeah. I love Angelique. I don't know if I love this milkshake.
It's alright.
I like this milkshake. I love my family.
Mm-hmm.
I love my boyfriend. And I love people. But I love them all differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's very important to know that in the Bible, in the Greek translation, there are 4 different words for love. 4. Angelique, would you
Count
like to?
them.
I know them, but I don't know the names specifically.
Yeah, there's philia or filio.
It's filio or philia, I think.
Yes, and that's a love between close friends or brothers.
Yeah, and it's really interesting if you read the passage in the Bible where Peter is talking to Jesus.
Wait, we need to talk about the other big one.
Okay.
The other important love for this passage in the Bible is the agape love.
Yes.
Yes. And agape love is like unconditional sacrificial love.
Mm-hmm.
So now go on.
Yeah. So if you read, I can't remember exactly which readings they are, but in the Bible there's a reading where
It's
after
like the
Jesus
breakfast on the beach.
raises, yes,
Yeah.
it rises from the dead, raises from the dead. You know,
He raises.
Yeah, he
from the
raises
dead.
from the dead. Him and Peter are sitting there talking, and I think at that point he had gone back to going by Simon too.
It's one of the few times Jesus calls him Simon after
he changes his name.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jesus is saying, like, do you love me? Do you love me? And Peter's going like, yes, of course I love you. Well, the thing about the English translation is that it's the same word. Whereas, like, Peter is using the filio,
yes,
the friendship term for love, or like a brotherly camaraderie. Whereas Jesus is asking him, do you agape love me? Like, do you love me unconditionally?
in a sacrificial way.
Yeah, and so it's just really cool once you learn those certain things. So, like, agape is like the highest form of love. And it's actually, I don't really like rings, and I'm not wearing them right now because I'm at home, comfy. I don't like rings, but I have 2, and one of my rings says agape on it because it's a good reminder to me that that's how I should love the Father and honestly the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not always willing to sacrifice for the people around me, or sometimes I'm not willing to sacrifice for our Father.
Yep, because we're human.
But I should be.
And that's how humans be.
Anyway,
so filio, however, we don't speak Greek. We're guessing.
unfortunately.
We're guessing. So don't rake us through the coals in the comments.
Or do.
That's fair. But philia is chiefly of the heart, whereas agape love is chiefly of the head. And so, like, when you agape love someone, you're loving somebody by making conscious choices to love that person no matter what. But philia love is where you're, like, using your heart, your emotions to make the choices of love. But, like, hearts are, weak and emotions change.
Hearts are weak. I don't know. Without your heart beating, you die.
You know what I mean? The stupid I love you with my whole heart. We've already had this conversation. You can't love with a muscle. Sorry, guys. That's an emotion. Anyway, the second kind, the third kind, we talked about agape already.
Well, agape is technically, so it's like in levels. So, like, the first level is philia, or
Yes.
filio. The next
The
level...
second level is eros.
Eros.
Which is romantic love.
Ooh, spicy.
Ooh. It's passion and intimacy. So Eros is like the falling in love and being in love kind of love.
It's where the Roman
God
comes from. Put it in quotation marks.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that's where his name comes from, or the word comes from his name. I'm not really sure.
It's one or the other.
But it's all, like, that's funny because it's the Roman one, and the Greek god of love is Aphrodite, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Interesting. And then the third kind...
I don't know how to pronounce this one.
I'm going to pronounce it the English way, which is storage.
I don't think that's how you pronounce
That's
it.
not really how you say it, but it's storage.
Storage is my guess.
Refers to the love between family members. So it's like a strong bond shared by parents and children. It's protective love that can withstand hardships and trials.
You know what's interesting to me is that with like the 4 like stages of love, like when you fall in love with somebody, it eventually should lead to like the 3rd stage of love or even the 4th stage, and I just find that to be very intriguing.
If you think about it, if you do love the way that I personally think you should, I think you should be friends first. TBH, I think you should be friends first.
My boyfriend and I weren't friends first.
You were strangers. Stranger danger.
I went on a date with a stranger.
Anyway, I feel like you should be
Many
friends
times.
first, and then you should be lovers, and then you'll be a family because you're gonna get
I
married.
use the word lovers.
I only said it because Allie doesn't like it.
I hate it when people are hurting each
She
other.
hates lovers, which I think is funny.
So gross.
Anyway, so like storage kind of love only appears twice in the New Testament, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool.
Well,
Pretty
I'm like,
cool.
I don't know. It's like, so the thing is like, I feel like philia, you could say like, oh, I love people because they're people.
Yeah.
And then you get to like the level where you love them as like actual friends. And that's not to say that you have to go through the Eros kind of love to love somebody in the storage kind. Because
I definitely
like the thing is like I feel like your family at this point to me and my family. And like no offense.
Absolutely agreed. Oh gosh.
Man, icky.
That's super gross. Anyway, and then the 4th level. Unbelievable. I didn't come here for this. And
What do
then
you come here for then?
to just be alive.
Oh.
Anyway, that was really dramatic. Anyway, and then the 4th level, the final level, the like deepest, strongest level of love is agape, obviously. And agape is how the Lord loves us. In fact, the agape love is the kind of love that is being spoken of in John 3:16. Like God, agape loved the world so much, he gave his only son. Unconditional and sacrificial love.
And I think that's one reason I'm always like, the English language does such a disservice to us by only giving us the one word, is because there are so many different ways to love people
Absolutely.
and the world around you. And like, it's funny that you said you loved your milkshake, because when I was in high school at youth group one time, it was so weird because we were talking about theology of the body. And with a bunch of sophomores. And,
that was probably the giggliest.
and it was like 2 men running this small group. And it was just co-ed. It's a co-ed small group, and we were talking about theology of the body. And they said whenever you say things like you love your milkshake, they're like, you don't love your milkshake. Like, you can't love your milkshake the way you love a person. You're lusting after that milkshake. And I'm like,
Ew!
like, thinking about it now, I'm like, That doesn't.
Don't say things
Makes
like that to
sense.
me.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. What did you say earlier? Just because you know I hate it? I'm gonna say it again.
Lubba.
You're lusting after that milkshake.
Mom's lusting after milkshakes. That was a joke. I apologize.
Anyway,
Anywho.
it's just interesting because people use that word so casually.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, it's not a casual thing to say.
Yeah.
Like you don't just love things, you know? And like...
I mean, I kind of just love things.
But like...
And
it's like a word that we just use. Like,
yeah, we use it a lot.
we don't use it for what it's meant to be for. And it almost sometimes takes away from like the meaning of it.
That's fair.
You know? And it's like, whenever somebody... Because you're... Like, I remember the first time friends told me they love me, I was like... What?
What are you talking about?
I'm not gay. Like...
I'm not gay.
But like, that was my reaction.
Yeah, I can absolutely hear that coming out of you. I'm not gay.
Now, you could hear it coming out of me. When I was in high school and that happened, I was like...
I didn't know you in high school. I keep telling you we didn't grow up together.
But anyway... But then, like, it almost takes away the meaning of the word when you, like, actually mean it to people. Like,
Yeah.
whenever you use it in such a way. So, like, literally that's one thing that I try not to do is go, I love the food I'm eating right now. Because, like, the love of your food is fleeting, homie.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
The love of your food is fleeting, homie. I need that on a t-shirt, I think.
Buy me the stuff, I'll make it for
All
you.
right. Bet.
But anyway.
So,
Love.
Love. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, and apparently you shouldn't love food. Please don't rub your tail on me like that ever again. That was so gross.
Sorry.
I'm looking down at the cat. Anyway, unfortunately, English fails us when it comes to the concept of love. And maybe we should bring back the 4 different types of love. Maybe pick different words if we want to. But we need to boister our vocabulary so that we can express love the correct way. Am I right or am I right?
What were the options again?
Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I think that's everything. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nope. Love your neighbor.
As yourself.
And don't forget to keep striving for likeness.
That's my line. I'm confused now. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell so you get notifications when we drop a video. Because sometimes Allie makes mistakes and they get dropped at random. That's my new favorite line of my bit. Help us in our journey to become YouTube influencers because obviously that's our dream. Look at us. Trying to get sponsored by Sonic tonight. Keep fighting the good fight. That's your Brian. That's your Brian thing. I know, it was a joke. Don't forget to keep striving
not
for
having
likeness.
tea really threw her off.
I'm very confused. Also, it's Monday. It's a little bit late. And
Monday!
I've been up since 3:30 because my body said good morning and it wouldn't let me take a nap.
Anyway.
What was I talking about?
You were trying to end the video.
I'm sorry.
Actually, just keep
Don't
going.
forget to keep striving for likeness, and we'll see you next week. Oh, also, if you have ideas for videos, drop it below because we are running low. And by we are running low, I haven't had an idea in a couple of weeks, and Allie's been
I literally
supporting all
got
of
out of the
carrying.
shower this morning and said, what if we talked about love? And Angelique goes, what?
Because there was no beginning to that conversation. She came out and said, "What if we talk about love?" And I was like,
To be fair, I said, I have an
What?
idea for a video.
I missed that part.
And I said, what if we talked about love?
I missed the beginning. Anyway,
What is love? It had
baby,
to happen.
don't hurt me.
Anyway.
Sorry guys, I've been trying to end this video for what feels like 17 minutes.
20 years, honestly.
Go to bed.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll see you next week. Goodbye, friends. We feel you, love you. But, you know, that's how we live our lives. Goodbye.